Did your mum pass immediately through Dad's attack?
No, she stumbled along the side path and collapsed at the front of the house.
Yeah.
And within literally minutes there were police and, people everywhere gathered around my mum's lifeless body.
Oh, right. So she passed away in that incident.
Yeah.
In that incident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember just seeing my father in the back of a police car as he drove away, looking back. And that was quite just a significant moment. Absolutely, 100%.
But I can't get over it, Donna.
It's like, wow, what a beautiful gift. Like if you can see it this way, that every single experience of trauma, adversity, whatever, can roll out in a way that not only you can be healed from, but you can help others to heal because of it.
You changed the meaning of it. You changed the meaning of all your trauma.
That's right.
The trauma was once trauma.
And now it's a gift.
Now it's a gift.
That I'm grateful for.
Oh, get out of it.
So this is another quite traumatic experience, because I was 11, almost 12, and the foster authorities came to the last foster home and asked the question, gave me a choice basically, would I like to stay in the foster care system until I was 18 and then I'd be free to leave, which of course for me meant moving and continuing the abuse, or to return to my father who'd been released from prison.
Wow.
But the hardest thing about this decision, Bernie, was I had to go back to the house where he had murdered Mum. Because these things happened to me.
Yeah.
Not because of me.
You got to say that one more time, please.
Because these things happened to me, not because of me.
So they don't define you.
That's right.
I'll get out of it.
That's right. I love Dr. Wayne Dyer's quote, and I use this often. Change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change.
Yeah. I tell you what,
it's a choice, Bernie, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. He was ahead of his time, wasn't he?
What a phenomenal human being.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. You have joined, yes, it's another episode of A Journey with Bernie. And I'm so grateful. I say it every time, but I truly am grateful that you have chosen to spend this time, your time, with us in what is going to be an incredible discussion. I can actually hear you listeners right now saying, Bernie, you say that every time, but have I disappointed? That's what I want to know, listeners. You should be telling us, by the way, what you think of all these podcasts. What about the one with Mark Nuss around Destiny's Rescue? That beautiful little girl from India, Renee Augustine. We need to know what you actually think of these podcasts and how they're impacting your beautiful lives. Well, I can assure you that today is going to impact your life, because I've heard this lady's story twice now. I've just finished a wonderful copy, just over 45 minutes. I heard the highlights again. Highlights, Donna-Leigh Perfect. Would you call it highlights?
Maybe, yes.
Maybe. Well, there are certainly things that have impacted your life in an incredible way. I have a feeling that the highlight is the way that you've responded to them over time. More about that very, very shortly, dear listeners. Donna-Leigh Perfect. If you live on the Gold Coast, incorrect. If you live in Australia, you would know Donna-Leigh Perfect as, let's go through it, Donna. Child entertainer. Yes, correct. Tick.
Yes.
Tick, tick, tick. Professional corporate speaker.
Yes.
How many speaking gigs have you done for the corporate world off the top of your head? Is it hundreds? Is it thousands?
Probably 50.
50? Well done, well done, well done. Oh, I was going to say, sometimes the measurement of of the corporate speaking world is how much they get paid for a gig. We won't go there, all right?
10,000 hours?
Get out of it. Get out of it. I'm worth 2.5. You can beat that, can't you? You can. Yeah, she's over here nodding her head, dear people. And you're an author too, please.
Yes.
Yeah. So why don't we start there, Donna-Leigh? I just want to get a picture of what you are doing now and what gives you this tremendous profile that you have in the educational and coaching world. Tell us about your books.
Oh, well, Bernie, the books, I never, ever envisaged myself being a children's author. That was not on the plan at all. And these incredible books, The Adventures of Jessie and Rocky Rockstar, are adorable stories about our rescue dog and my daughter.
Right.
And the life lessons that Rocky Rockstar teaches her about kindness and compassion.
Where did Rocky Rockstar come from? Why Rocky Rockstar? Is Jessie your daughter?
Jessie's
the daughter. And is Rocky Rockstar the dog?
He's the dog. He's
Right.
the rescue dog.
Right. And you call him Rocky Rockstar?
Yes,
So when you call him for dinner, do you go, Rocky Rockstar?
absolutely.
Or do you call him Rocky?
Rocky for short.
He answers to both. And if I was to open up those books, or any of the children, maybe of the parents that are listening to this podcast, were to read those books, what would they gain from the books? What is the books sharing with them? What is the message of these 3 beautiful books?
Well, there are 2 in the series. So the first one is Puppy Rescue.
Right.
And it's just a story about how Rocky was found.
Yeah.
And how his name came about. But the stories are really more about kindness.
Wow.
And compassion.
Wow.
And treating everybody, including
Yeah.
animals, with respect
Yeah.
and love.
Yeah.
And sharing that love, and it's about everyday life. It's
Yeah.
about step families. It's
Wow.
about meditation. It's about being mindful and being caring and kind human being.
Yeah. I find sometimes life incredible. Can I just share with you quickly? Yesterday, I did a beautiful Buddhist retreat with Chad Foreman. Now, Chad Foreman was episode number 34 or 42 of A Journey with Bernie. And in that retreat, he announced his religion or his philosophy of life as not Catholicism, not Buddhism. Yet he was a Buddhist monk. He said, my religion is kindness. I just find it remarkable how twice in like less than 24 hours that word comes up as a key announced word for me to ponder and consider. Yeah. But you're also a professional speaker. You've said you've done 50 big gigs or 50 different gigs.
All different kinds.
Tell us about a recent one. I'm just trying to develop a picture of who you are professionally and what you do and what's given you this lovely profile that I know many people enjoy about you. Yeah.
Well, probably one of my most, I guess, memorable keynotes was during COVID.
Oh.
And it was at the Star Casino on the Gold Coast.
Wow, okay.
And it was for the Australian Childcare Alliance Conference, where there were 850 education delegates.
Okay.
And I was at this conference with a very good friend who was my support person.
Yeah.
And she's an amazing woman, and she has a story of her own also. And anyway, I was watching the speakers previous to my talk, and they were all very kind of conservative speakers.
Yeah.
And knowing my style and the way that I, I'm very animated, put it that way. And so these speakers were behind lecterns, reading notes and so forth. They had PowerPoints. And I got up skipping on the stage in a rainbow dress that flows. And I remember seeing the audience.
I got a Priscilla Queen of the Desert.
Yes.
Yes, no?
Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely, that kind of thing. And I couldn't believe the eyes just, fixated on what on earth is happening here.
Could you see the fear in their eyes first?
Absolutely.
Educationalists, remember?
Yes.
Yeah. What happened?
Well, I took them on a roller coaster, Bernie, which I do.
Yeah.
I do. I share my story.
Yeah.
I share how I've overcome that, so much ongoing trauma in my life to a place of colour, vibrancy, and gratitude.
Yeah.
And, I get my audience to recognise the resilient rock stars within them.
Within themselves?
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, I'm playing with some thoughts here, like the inference there, which I quite enjoy, is that in a way we all have our challenges and we all have a little bit of suffering, but in some cases it can be absolutely profound and powerful and potent. Yeah. And I think we're going to hear that from your story shortly. I have no doubt about that. But there are ways to overcome these challenges and these mountains. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you're saying that every one of your audience could resonate in some way with the challenges that you had in your life. What's your central message to people to overcome challenges when life's a little bit painful and chaotic for them? What's your central message around that?
Look, I think it's to recognise that is part of life. Every day we have challenges. Challenges are part of the amazing adventure called life.
Yeah.
And if we can embrace those challenges and adversity in a way that we look at these times in our life where it's a gift.
Yeah.
Because there is always a lesson that can be learnt from those experiences if we embrace the lesson.
Have you got to the stage where an event comes along, shakes you, and you can actually see it as a gift?
100%.
Wow. I mean, that is a terrific place to land at, whereby when life throws those cards at you now, you can actually see the value and the benefit possibilities of it. So let's go back to these 850 educationalists. If I met any of them now outside the studio and I said, what did you take away from Donna-Leigh Perfect's presentation? What do you think would be some of their take-home pays?
I think certainly the experience of the air guitar rock stars on the stage where, we had education delegates up there actually rocking it out with my balloon guitars, which was a big surprise to them. But I just think it's recognising that a person who can go through so much ongoing trauma can come out of that experience with so many tools that they want to share with others, and a hope that in some way can provide some peace and ability to overcome their own adversity.
What tools did you give them? What strategy or action? What would they take away and say? Guess what? In my in my painful and chaotic events and suffering of my life, Donna-Leigh Perfect says, try this, do this. What's this?
Wow. Well, there were a number of tools, but I guess gratitude is probably one of my biggest tools. Most profound is, being grateful for every day with the highs and lows,
Wow.
the suffering, the adversity, the whole adventure of life, and being grateful, like I said, for those life lessons and embracing them, and not only being at a space where you embrace them and are grateful for them, but if you're able to pass on some of those lessons to others, then what an amazing gift. Because somebody else is benefiting in some way from your experience. That's incredible. So, I think potentially that was the outcome for a lot of people in the audience that day.
Oh God, I overthink things, Donna. What I'm thinking now is I'm thinking, if one is grateful for what is, if one is grateful for what they have now within themselves and maybe even outside of themselves, I'm grateful for this moment of where I am in my life. We're also saying that there is no great desire or need to want for more.
100%.
And so the actual power of it, please correct me if I'm misreading this, the actual power of it is you don't fall into that trap of always wanting more. And as has been said in this podcast a few times, but more recently, there never seems to be an end for more, does there?
No.
But gratefulness says I can find happiness in what is. Is that how it works?
Yeah, and I think gratefulness is a mindful experience.
Yeah.
It's being in the moment.
Yeah.
As opposed to being in the past or the future.
Yeah.
So it's being very present.
Yeah.
And
love it.
I love, like Dr. Wayne Dyer, he always talked about gratitude. And he always believed that when people had this kind of desire or need for something else, it was the disease for more.
Yeah.
And you can't ever arrive at a place of happiness when you are in this kind of experience of this disease for more. You have this desire for wanting and needing more. You can never arrive at happiness. So it is about being present and being mindful of where you are right now and being grateful for everything that you have in this present moment.
I love it, Donna. I love what you just said there. Being grateful puts you there in the present moment, and grateful's, even the word's got a positive energy about it. I'm sure it's got an element of joy, an element of inner happiness as a whole part of the package. And that's what it brings to the present moment. We haven't even heard your story yet. I'm holding back on it. I am holding back on it. But can I ask you, what are you grateful for now in your life? For what are you grateful for in your life at this beautiful stage of life?
I am grateful that every day in my present life, I don't know what is coming. And that is an exciting adventure.
Yeah, and you indicated before that even if it throws you curveballs or a little bit of chaos, that's okay too, because that too is going to supply some learning.
Absolutely. I always look for the learning.
Yeah. Oh, my God. How did you... the question's got to be, how did you get there? But I think before we answer that question, let's go to this incredible story. I don't even like the word incredible because there are elements of it that are so dark. But what's incredible is how out of your story you've landed to what we've just heard, Donna, take us back to the early days of your childhood.
Mm, mm. Yeah. Okay, Bernie. Well, I'm the youngest of 5 siblings, and
Yeah.
I'm actually a twin. I have a
Yeah.
twin brother,
Uh,
and I'm a Kiwi.
yeah. Okay.
So from Auckland in
Yeah.
New Zealand,
Yeah.
and my childhood felt pretty normal, pretty
Yeah.
like I don't know what normal even means really, but it seemed to be quite a happy sort of childhood
Yeah.
from my memory until one morning
Yeah.
when I was just 7 years old,
Yeah.
and I remember waking very early and hearing my mum's piercing screams,
Yeah.
and I jumped out of bed to see what was going on, and I heard my father yelling,
Yeah.
and I stepped out of my bedroom door, and I saw my father chasing my mum down the spiral staircase
Yeah.
with a knife.
Yeah. Yeah.
And as my mum tried to reach for the handle of the sliding door to escape,
Yeah.
my father drove the knife into her back.
Yeah. Yeah. You witnessed this.
Mm.
Any of the other children in the house?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we all did.
Yeah. And the outcome we've just heard, but was the yelling and the screaming and the fighting, was that part of what you grew up with?
Not really.
Or this was a reasonably sudden event?
It was a reasonably sudden event. There were arguments, but nothing to
Yeah.
this extent.
Yeah.
There wasn't really any violence.
Yeah.
So it was a very shocking experience.
Yeah. Yeah. And may I ask him, by the way, in all of this discussion here now, please feel free to use the word pass, okay? But was there anything that facilitated your dad's violence? Like, was he a violent man by nature, or?
I think there was some violent background, but this came about from research later on as I was a young adult. But at the time, it certainly wasn't something that I was particularly aware of as a 7-year-old.
Yeah.
Mm.
May I assume that Dad was charged and then
Yeah,
spent some prison time and
so my mother passed away, and within moments, the foster authorities came and separated me from my siblings, and we were put into foster homes because we were such a large unit. Our direct family couldn't take the children, or they just couldn't take that responsibility on. So we were put into the foster care, and that was an experience that continued the trauma. So there was no emotional support. There was no counselling.
Wow.
We were just put into strange homes with strangers and expected to, just get on with life.
I want to apologise to you right now because I just realised before, right, for whatever reason, maybe because I've semi-heard the story before, I assumed your mum's passing, and then I dwelled upon your dad's outcome when really it really should have focused on. Did your mum pass immediately through Dad's attack?
No, she stumbled along the side path and collapsed at the front of the house.
Yeah.
And within literally minutes, there were police and, people everywhere gathered around my mum's lifeless body.
Oh, right. So she passed away in that incident.
Yeah.
In that incident there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember just seeing my father in the back of a police car as he drove away, looking back. And that was quite just a significant moment.
I'm just trying to picture, which is foolish of me, being in shoes like yours and your siblings. You wake up one morning and wind the clock on. Your mother has passed away. Your mother has been murdered. and you watch your dad being taken away in a police car. Can you even begin to describe what that moment is like when you witnessed all that? And in that moment, what do you experience? What happened?
Just like complete shock. We were taken in another police car down to my cousin's house, just a little way down the road.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting on the couch and hearing on the radio the announcement of my mother's murder. And hearing that was so surreal.
Yeah.
Thinking that was my mum and it's on the radio right now. And it was the most surreal moment.
Yeah.
Just shock, I think, like complete shock, trauma. Yeah. Hard to put words to it.
I'm looking at your face now. You still, naturally enough, how would I know? You still feel this moment.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you can still, it's not only see it, but you can still feel it to a high degree.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What unfolded next for you and your siblings? You were about to tell us before you come down to your cousin's place, but you said that not long after some authorities looked after you. In what way?
Yeah, so basically we were told that we were going to be put into foster care.
Yeah.
Which was the only option for us at the time because family were not available.
Yeah.
So that meant moving into a strange house with strangers that we'd never met before.
All 5 of you?
No. So we were separated. So I was put into the first foster home with my twin brother.
Wow.
My older brothers and my sister were elsewhere.
Yeah.
And the first experience was actually really positive.
Yeah.
It was a Catholic mother, a single mum with 2 young daughters, and she was very kind and very nurturing and very caring.
Yeah.
However, my twin brother and I arrived there completely traumatized.
Yeah.
And we were not obviously in a good mental state of mind.
Yeah.
So that became extremely challenging for this Catholic mother.
Yeah.
I think she did an incredible job looking back on it, to be honest.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that part of my happy experience in this home was she would read children's stories to
That's
us
fascinating,
in bed at night. And it enabled me just to escape the reality of my life for a little while and just immerse myself in the story.
Yeah.
And it gave me a sense of peace. And so that was probably the only happy foster experience.
Were you able to connect in any way with the 2 daughters?
Oh yeah, they were like sisters, I guess.
Wow.
You know, yeah.
So for how long were you with that home?
I think about 7 months.
Okay.
So it was quite a long time.
Yeah. But in the end, the situation or the scenario that arose out of it, given the trauma that you had experienced, needed another outcome.
Yeah.
Another home.
So how it sort of played out on many occasions was we were just told to put your belongings into a rubbish bag.
Yeah.
Get in the car. You're moving to another house.
But who's telling you to do this? The authorities.
The foster
so to speak,
authorities. Yeah.
So 7 months later, out of the blue again, you're moved on. How many times did this happen?
13.
I'll get out of it,
So the second house we stayed at, my twin brother and I, he was an alcoholic, and I don't believe
So
many
not
of
your twin brother,
the foster father.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think there was much screening that went on with foster parenting back in these days. So he was an alcoholic, and I remember my sister coming to visit us one night, and we were locked in our bedroom, and I remember hearing a knock at the door and my sister saying that she was here to see us, and the foster father went to the door and said, they don't love you anymore, they don't need to see you. And I remember hearing her crying, and we were, pounding on the door trying to get out of our bedroom, and she was sent off.
Right.
So that was the kind of emotional abuse that went on with this guy.
Right.
He told me to run a bath once for one of the other children in the foster home, and I had no idea how to run a bath. I was probably not even 8 years old, and so I turned on the hot tap, and the little girl got in the bath and schooled herself, and so he marched me to his bedroom and took off his leather belt and pulled down my pants and just smacked me until I bled.
Yeah. Donna, how many, without going into the detail of these type of experiences, further traumatic experiences, but you went to 13 different homes, like there must have been some pleasant ones, but I'm also assuming there was a whole volume of unpleasant experiences in these homes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, can you give us an idea of, the terrible question, the volume of unpleasant ones?
Oh, unfortunately, it was probably, it certainly outweighed the good ones. Yeah.
Donna, by the time you're free to leave the foster care homes, how old are you then?
So this is another quite traumatic experience, because I was 11, almost 12, and the foster authorities came to the last foster home and asked the question, gave me a choice basically, would I like to stay in the foster care system until I was 18 and then I'd be free to leave, which of course for me meant moving and continuing the abuse, or to return to my father who'd been released from prison.
Wow.
But the hardest thing about this decision, Bernie, was I had to go back to the house where he had murdered Mum.
I'll stop there. Just stop there. Donna, I need to take a breath, because the events of the story are almost too incredible to believe. What choice did you make? Stay in the foster care system or return to Dad?
Return to Dad.
Yeah. Why?
Because I would finally be reunited with my siblings.
Wow.
And it was a sense of as much as it was dysfunctional, it was a sense of stability in family that I hadn't experienced in years.
I get family. Stability is an interesting term. We're only playing with words here. But the stability, what came from the link and connection with your brothers and your sisters?
Also, being in one place instead of moving constantly.
Wow, okay. Could you comment, please, on the power of that love and connection you had with your brothers and your sisters? Because that is very, very powerful, to be able to say, I will return to the home and I'll return to the man, albeit my father, but he did murder my mother. So something was able to draw you back to say that's okay to return to that abode, that existence. Can you comment on that love for your siblings?
Oh, it's a unconditional love, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's an unconditional love for my father too, to be honest. Even regardless of what he did. it's a phenomenal thing, isn't it? Like, to feel that there is still some kind of connection.
That's incredible.
But I think my brothers, my sister, they were older than me. They were role models in my life.
I get you.
They were a sense of security, I guess. I felt safe.
And to what degree did the whole experience, the whole incident of that terrible morning, plus the unfolding of years in foster care homes, to what degree did that galvanise the five of you? Did it bring you even closer?
It's a good question, Bernie. My sister actually didn't stay in the house for long because she was the oldest, and so she was flatting by then.
Yeah.
So it was really just me being the only female and four men in the house.
Yeah.
So I sort of started to play this kind of mother role, to be honest, and being the youngest was a bit strange. So I think we all had some form of trauma in our own experience, because having had our own unique like life experiences in these foster homes independently, we brought all that together in a melting pot.
Yeah.
And I guess we dealt with it all differently. You know, my brothers being older, they turned to drugs in a big way, and that was hard for me to witness. Witnessing my father and the just daily, alcohol abuse.
Wow.
And seeing him in a different light, I think, as an older person, 12, 13-year-old, seeing him from a different perspective, from a 7-year-old, and maybe with my eyes more open. I don't know, but seeing he was a man that had come from a very dysfunctional background himself. And I think this played out in the way he viewed life. And he was pro-Nazi. He believed in the Aryan race.
Wow.
He was a genius. He spoke 4 languages fluently.
Yeah.
He played German records every night I got home from school, and this is when I knew he was drunk. I'd come home to a house where I knew I was coming into this unpredictability, which was scary. So when my decision or my choice initially was based on stability and security, in fact, this 5 years was didn't really demonstrate a lot of that.
Wow, okay. It's what you hoped for when you made the decision. It's what you possibly saw in coming back to your 4 siblings, your 4 brothers and sisters, but in fact, you didn't see remorse or change in your father?
Nothing.
In fact, did it get worse for him? Was the guilt of what he had done then demonstrated in alcoholic and abusive ways?
Absolutely, it was.
And despite the fact that the 5 of you were able to come together, it didn't really act as a therapy. Even though you must have, did you share your experiences in foster care with each other, or was it the unspoken truth?
It was the unspoken truth.
Yeah, so the therapy never occurred. Why should it occur between 5 children? Donna, we've got the picture here. Well, no, we haven't got the picture, because how could anybody develop the full colour of the picture that you're describing? Let's just go on a couple of years. You're moving to that point where you're a young woman And I assume there's a day and a stage where you have the opportunity to leave this abode behind. Can you describe who were you at that time when it came time for you to move on into the game of life outside of this home, this house? Who were you then? Like, give us a description of Donna-Leigh Perfect there.
I was vulnerable.
Yeah.
I was lost. I was still at a place of trauma.
Yeah.
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 I was forced out of the home because my father died of alcohol. He basically drunk himself to death.
Right.
So I was 17.
Were you there when he died?
Yes.
Were you beside him when he passed?
Yes.
Oh, Donna.
Mm.
Wow. Wind the years on for us, please. What unfolded when at 17 years of age you find yourself in another set of circumstances and you're now out in what I might term the game of life, hello, as if it hasn't been played out previously, but you're outside, you're a young woman now, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. What's that life like for you?
I went through a very dark, path that turned to alcohol and drugs on a daily basis just to numb the pain and the suffering that I hadn't dealt with. I'd never dealt with. And I recall one night just having this defining moment. I don't know how I can even describe it, but it was a moment where it was a fork in the road. It was which path am I going to take? Am I going to continue down this dark road of drugs, alcohol, abusing myself, making bad choices, or reach out for help?
Yeah. So the fork in the road, are you referring to a decision where you actually contemplated ending your life?
I've never been there.
Wow, Donna.
I've never been there.
Wow. I'm going to ask a silly question. How come? How come?
I think I have some drive, determination within me that knows no matter what I go through, I'm going to get through it.
You can't. Are you sharing with me that during this time between 7 and whatever age you are, you said 17 when you moved out on a couple of years because you've got the cannabis habit, etc., etc. I'm going 19 or 20. Between 7 and 20, even in those years, somehow, periodically, you thought you're going to get through this?
Absolutely. There was a drive.
Dear people, this is not an interruption to the podcast. It is a beautiful invitation for you to join a journey with Bernie, April 2024 in Nepal to experience Kathmandu, Kagandra Vocational School for 550 disabled children, and of course, the enormous, the magnificent Himalayas. The spirit of Nepal will invade your soul, the peace and the calm of the people. It's not something you can just get anywhere. You will learn so much from your experiences around Kathmandu, and of course, that mighty adventure, that wonderful, glorious trek to the magnificent Himalayas, where you will have a first-hand encounter with Sagarmatha, Mother Goddess herself, Mount Everest. Dear people, this is unforgettable. This is an experience that will invade every fibre of your body. It is not possible to return as the same person that left. +61 412 982 444. Text me, dear people. Text me on that number and I will have an information kit to you, your private invitation to join us in April 2024. Nepal is calling you?
I just had this I don't know, just drive to make a better life for myself.
Yeah. So there you are in the fork in the road, and you're tossing up on one hand that I could end this all, or secondly, I want to live and I want to make something of life. Now, we know which one you chose.
Yeah. Well, it was this moment that I reached out to Lifeline.
Okay.
And I spoke to a counsellor on the phone late one night when I was in a, drug-induced state, and I was not in a good place.
Wow.
And I made that call.
Yeah.
And I was on the phone for quite a significant amount of time. And I remember the counsellor saying, there's a lot here that I believe we need to work on. And why don't you come in and have a face-to-face session with a counsellor, and let's work on healing this trauma. And that was...
Did you go in?
Yeah, that was a defining
Did
moment
you go
in
in
my...
the next day?
Oh, yeah, I made an appointment straight off.
So that night at like 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, you're on the phone?
I made an appointment there and then with the counsellor.
What, and saw him at 9 o'clock the next morning?
Yeah, not that counsellor, but another one.
Okay.
Yeah, they take bookings for face-to-face counsellors. Yeah.
Not that it matters. Do you remember the names of these people?
No, no.
Because, wow, wouldn't it be good if they knew the role that they played in turning around a life, eh?
Yeah, incredible journey.
Yeah.
So I had this face-to-face counselling for, I think it would have been about 8 months.
Wow.
And
how many sessions a week?
Every week. Every week.
Once a week?
Yes.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Was that enough? Once a week?
I recall the counsellor saying to me that I believe you're at a place in your life where you are you're being.
Yeah.
You're being where you need to be. And you are no longer needing to fix yourself or heal.
Yeah.
And in fact, the journey that you have been on, the healing that you have gone through, is something that so many other people could benefit from.
Yeah.
And not only that, but you yourself could benefit through seeing other people's experiences and realizing that you're not alone in these experiences, and your experiences will help others. So would you consider doing some Lifeline telephone crisis training and becoming a counsellor? This was the question.
So 8 months later, you've made the call in order to save your own life, and then 8 to 9 months later, you're a counsellor.
Yeah. Well, after some training,
After some training, let's say
6
within
months.
a year.
Yeah.
And for how long were you a counsellor?
I was a counsellor on the phones in Sydney for 2 years.
Wow.
And that's voluntary.
Yeah.
So, and it includes overnighters where you're on the phones, manning the phones for 8 hours.
Yeah.
Lots of suicide calls.
Yeah.
Lots of regular callers that are lonely. And being aware of trigger calls where, some of the callers may have a similar story to you, and being aware of those trigger points. And what an experience. What an honour.
Those two sentences there, what an experience, what an honour, tell me that those 2 years, that experience was a transformational experience for you. Making the call opened up the door for change to occur, but those 2 years where you started to reverse the role, and it's no longer victimised Donna-Leigh, it's now Donna-Leigh has purpose. Donna-Leigh has gift. Donna-Leigh has something to offer. That came through Lifeline, you being the counsellor?
Absolutely, it did.
Can you describe the gift of all that? How did it impact you? Like, what did it actually give you? I threw in some words there like purpose and service and offering and all that, but I want to hear it from you. Like, what did you learn from that about Donna-Leigh that you hadn't learnt before?
Well, when you say purpose, it's the question we all ask ourselves, isn't it? Why we are here.
Yeah.
So that was the answer. This is why I'm here. This experience that I went through was my mother did not die in vain.
Yeah. I'll get out of it, Donna. Listeners, I hope you're watching this because I got tears flowing down my face over here. This is an incredible studio interaction that's going on in here. But to hear what Donna-Leigh just said there, did you hear it? She said, when she was able to see, and Donna, you're going to correct me for this, okay? Mm-hmm. That service to others, which meant that she had a focus that enabled her to forget herself. When that became her purpose, that gave her energy and life. How did I go, Donna?
Absolutely, 100%.
But I can't get over it, Donna.
It's like, wow, what a beautiful gift. Like if you can see it this way, that every single experience of trauma, adversity, whatever, can roll out in a way that not only you can be healed from, but you can help others to heal because of it.
You changed the meaning of it. You changed the meaning of all your trauma.
That's right.
The trauma was once trauma.
And now it's a gift.
Now it's a gift.
That I'm grateful for.
Oh, get out of it.
Because these things happened to me.
Yeah.
Not because of me.
You got to say that one more time, please.
Because these things happened to me, not because of me.
So they don't define you.
That's right.
I'll get out of it.
That's right. I love Dr. Wayne Dyer's quote, and I use this often. Change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change.
Yeah. I tell you what,
it's a choice, Bernie, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, Donna. It is. He was ahead of his time, wasn't he?
What a phenomenal human being.
Yeah. But the stuff that he gave us back those, 20 or 30 years ago now? Yeah, maybe, maybe longer. He was ahead of his time. He was one of the first spiritual teachers that was able to bring spirituality to the world, that made it all very touchable.
Yes.
And very human.
Yes.
And very tangible. Yeah.
He was also a foster child.
That's right, he was too. He was too. Donna-Leigh, so you're 23 or 24, 25 years of age when you're in Sydney and you're this Lifeline counsellor. But we also heard at the start of this podcast, who you are today, with all the wonderful coaching and educational offerings that you give to so many people. I don't want to dwell on the in-betweens. Like the 25 to, let's just say mid-50s, Donna. Is that okay?
Yes, perfect.
The mid-50s. Except please don't hit me with any more really, hard-hitting lowlights or highlights, call them what you may. But there may be a few between 25 and 55. Scan through those for us, please. What happened between 25 and now?
Oh, goodness me. Well, this whole kind of philosophy of serving others just grew and grew. And, I had this meditation probably about, what would it have been, 12 years ago,
Okay, so
13 years ago.
let's
I
go.
went into this...
That's 40s, early 40s.
I went into this meditation with an intention to discover some tools that I could teach children how to stand up to bullying in a positive way. Because during my childhood in these 13 schools in foster care, I was bullied.
Yeah.
And I wanted to help kids
Yeah.
who have become suicidal themselves due to online bullying.
Yeah.
Bullying is out of control in in the cyberspace.
Yeah.
So I went into this meditation, and I came out of this meditation with these phenomenal tools called peace.
Peace.
Peace. And it's an acronym.
Okay.
And the peace is actually, it represents the universal sign for stop, which is the hand high up in the air. With your 5 fingers.
Yeah.
And each letter in the peace tools represents a word and a tool.
Right.
So I'll go through them if you like to hear.
Please do.
Okay,
Please do.
so
Because let's just understand this. You're now actually giving us some strategy here about how you overcome bullying, or how you overcome those periods of low esteem, worth, and value. So these are tangible take homes here.
Absolutely, they are
5 of them.
5 of them.
P-E-A-C-E.
P-E-A-C-E. So the P stands for protect yourself and be powerful.
Elaborate. What's that mean?
So it's about standing tall. Now, believe it or not, if you stand tall with your shoulders back and your head held high, it's statistically proven that you are less likely to be picked on or bullied because you are showing yourself to be confident.
Yeah.
So just walking into a school playground with your shoulders back and your head held high gives a sense of confidence, and you are less likely to be a target for bullies.
Stop there for that one, okay? Mm-hmm. Can I just elaborate on that a little bit? Because now I'm translating that into adulthood.
100%.
All right? Because the metaphor you just gave about standing taller, shoulders back, to me that's a very assertive stance and position. And for me, to love people, sometimes you've got to demonstrate that love assertively, because not everything is just lovey-dovey, positive connection. But in some cases with people, to actually demonstrate respect for self and respect for them, that maybe is not quite the right phrase, you've actually got to assert, because you've got to stand for something.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's maybe not standing tall as an adult, but it's actually having the guts and the courage to say lovingly what you need to say.
Yes, in an assertive way.
Not an aggressive way.
No.
An assertive way. I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's setting boundaries. Yeah. Boundaries are key.
Beautiful.
Okay, the next letter is E.
Yeah.
And the letter E stands for escape the situation.
Yeah.
And, I say, look, if you are being picked on, if you're being bullied, walk away.
Yeah.
Run away.
Yeah.
And I like to skip away.
Yeah.
Because the skip is a phenomenal exercise, which I'll go into in a minute. Yeah. So escape the situation. Never allow anyone to abuse you.
Yeah. I found
setting boundaries again.
I find it funny that you talk skip away, because there's abuse going on, there's a negativity going on, and yet you send the message back, it doesn't affect me because look at me, I'll skip away from this with a positive energy.
Absolutely.
I hold my own energy.
Absolutely.
Donna, how fascinating.
Mm.
Oh, Donna, I love that. I just love the idea that in the face of adversity, you called it bullying before, you can actually meet it with your own positive energy intact. That is, they can't steal it away.
100%.
Hey, move on to the A.
Okay. So we've got an A. And the A is about building an armour around your body.
Yeah.
So it's an imaginary armour, like a force field, so that nasty words just bounce off your powerful armour. They can't get past that barrier that you set for yourself. It's a protective barrier.
Yeah.
And it's a choice whether you allow those things to enter into your world or not,
Yeah.
whether they're going to have an impact on you or not.
Yeah.
So that armour is just so important. Build that armour around you and protect yourself from negative.
I'm now thinking here, if now we've got children listening to this, young adults, I'm talking about secondary school, grade 9, 10, 11, 12. Exactly how do you build that armour? Like, what's the paradigm shift? Like, what's the thinking pattern there that enables you to say to yourself, no one can affect me with their name calling, with their badgering. No one can impact me. How do you do that?
It's a choice.
Yeah.
It is a choice each and every day.
Yeah.
It is a choice.
Yeah.
What we choose to take on and what we choose not to.
Yeah.
I do this amazing little demonstration on stage.
Yeah.
And it's a gift. I take a gift to the stage and I ask a volunteer to come up.
Yeah.
And I offer the gift to the volunteer, but I've already kind of prepared them to say, don't decline the gift. And I force this gift onto them. I'm trying to get them to accept this gift, but they will not accept the gift under any circumstance. And then I say, so the volunteer has not accepted the gift. So who owns the gift? Is it the volunteer? Does she own the gift?
Yeah.
Or is it me? Because she's declined the gift. Who owns the gift?
Yeah.
Tell me, who is it?
Yeah.
And of course, it's me.
Yeah.
Because the volunteer has declined the gift.
Yeah.
So then if I was to yell abuse, nasty words at this volunteer, and she declined.
Yeah.
She chose not to take that on board.
Yeah.
Who owns those nasty words and that abuse?
Yeah.
It's me.
Yeah.
Because I'm the one projecting them on others. So if I choose not to take that on, then it's not mine.
Yeah.
I don't own them.
The C, Donna. What's the
C? Is about creating strong friendships in your community.
Okay.
It's about building a community, a school community.
Yeah.
We're all sisters and brothers.
Yeah.
We're all connected. We're all connected. We're all humans.
Hey, you got an E? There's an E left.
There's an E left.
Yeah.
And the E is expressing your emotions.
Yeah.
And this is about reaching out for the help and support you need if you are being bullied, if you're being abused in your life.
Yeah.
So it goes back to how I reached out to Lifeline and how it can change your life in a positive way moving forward. And recognizing that you are not alone.
Yeah.
We all have suffering. It's part of life.
Yeah.
But it's how we see it.
Yeah.
How we move through and beyond it.
Yeah.
And what we do with it.
Yeah. Take us through it again. Bang, bang, bang. Punch it out for us. P-E-A-C-E.
P-E-A-C-E. P, protect yourself and be powerful.
Yeah.
E, escape the situation.
Yeah.
A, armour yourself up, build a force field. C,
Yeah.
create strong friendships in your community. And E, express your emotions.
I can hear your answer to my next question right now, but I'm still going to ask it. Is there any one of those that's sort of like a special favourite for you that you would say, this particular one you've got to give good energy to? Which one is it, Donna?
It's express your emotions.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, because that's where the resilient rock star comes out.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but express your emotion means so many things because you defined it before as ask for help.
Yes.
Yeah, but when you ask for help, it's sort of like tell the real story. Let it out. Speak to someone. Don't hold it back. Get rid of the lava out of the volcano. All of those type of metaphors, images are part of the E. Have you got a second favourite amongst those? There's four. I'm not going to go third, fourth and fifth. I'm not going to ask you to rank them. But is there another one in there which you just think, hello, excuse me, it's really, really important?
Yeah. creating strong friendships in your community. Yeah. It's about connectedness. It's so important. The future of community is connectedness.
Yeah. It's so important, isn't it, in life to surround yourself with the right environment. You know, when I use the word environment, I don't mean where you live, but I mean friends, connections, who feeds you, where do you get nurtured from, what value are they bringing to you?
Absolutely.
So what would you say to, grade 9, 10, 11, 12 student, young tertiary listening to this podcast here at the moment, and they're going through some pain and chaos in their life. They're uncertain about themselves, and you got 1 minute to speak to them, Donna, and you want to really look them in the eyes and hit them with your knockout punch, because they want something to move forward with. What do you say to them, Donna?
I would say believe in every aspect of your life experience, whatever it brings, whether it's adversity, whether it's excitement, whether it's you're striving towards your goals or you're not.
Yeah.
It's about embracing every aspect of that journey.
Yeah.
And knowing that it's part of who you are. It's part of your life and your lessons that you uniquely are gifted with, that no other human being has the same experience or unique gifts. So that's what makes you so uniquely special. Embrace them.
Like, wow.
Embrace them. Yeah.
So it's not forget about them. It's actually embrace them, because even at the time they were negative and chaotic, they are actually now the source of your learning and awareness.
Change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change.
Geez, you're good. You're so good. Can I say something stupid?
Please. Take the edge off.
In a way, hasn't life treated you specially?
Yes, it sure has.
You said yes, but why did you say yes?
How lucky am I?
Elaborate.
My life is so rich and full and colourful. It's not. It's vibrant. And the only way you can have all that vibrancy and depth and is through adversity and rising above it.
Yeah.
It's the roller coaster.
Yeah.
You have to ride it.
Yeah. Yeah.
To feel it.
Yeah. Listen, I don't know whether we've got any primary school principals out there, deputy principals, year 6 coordinators. I don't know whether we've got any middle school or junior school. I've forgotten what they call them these days, but if you're in grade 8 and 9, I don't know whether we've got any secondary schools out there. One thing I do know is that speaking to people and a little bit of research, not much, I do know that Donna-Leigh Perfect is going to have an impact in the way that your children see themselves. Why would you listen to this podcast and not ring and investigate and explore the possibility of Donna telling her story? It's not just story, it's taking the kids on a journey so that they can see themselves differently, so that they can not only see themselves differently, so they can be more, be better. But you can only be better if you can see better. And Donna-Leigh, I just have no doubt, given the foundation of what you've just heard over the last hour, I have no doubt that she could open up your children's eyes. And you ready for this? What greater gift can you give your kids? Okay, I've got in the back of my mind here, you can give them maths, you can give them science, you can give them understanding. But what about the freaking game of life, for goodness sake? They won't be able to use the science and the maths and all of the other curriculum stuff if they don't know how to play the game of life. Contact Donna-Leigh Perfect, because your kids need to experience the workshop, the games, and the rock star, the resilient rock star process that I know that Donna has got to offer your children at your school. Where do they contact you? And I want you to repeat your mobile number twice. Is that okay?
Yes.
Let's go public. Let's go global.
Let's do it.
Go.
Let's do it. Okay. So, reach out to me on my website, which is all the W's, Donna with a hyphen, Leigh perfect.com. So that's Donna-Leigh Perfect.com, or all the W's, resilient rockstar show.com.au, and my phone number, call me 0412 403 051. I'll give you that number again.
Yeah, you better.
0412 403 051.
Now, folks, I'm going to capture all of that information too and put it in the event description. So if you lost track of that or your pen didn't work quickly enough, go to the event description on a Spotify or an Apple and you'll see it there and you'll be able to get those details here. Donna, this is not me trying to worm in, but I've got good images here and I'm driven by the kids. But I tell you what, you and I together could take those kids on one heck of a journey. And I'm talking about a day or a couple of days, leadership camps, grade 11 leadership camps. Give us a crack at them, dear people, because I have no doubt whatsoever that we can open up their eyes. And between you and I'm looking at a lady here and I know my heart and soul. And guess what? Nothing gives us greater pleasure than to be able to use our gifts to be able to open up the hearts and the eyes of your children to see more and be more. Go to the event description. All the details are there, dear people. Hey, Donna-Leigh, very rarely recently do I go past the hour mark. We're already about the hour and a quarter. And guess what? There's not going to be too much of this podcast that I'm going to be shortening here, because sometimes you just get stuff and it's just worthy of hearing all of it or most of it, you know. But I think we need to wind up.
Yeah.
So I've got a couple of questions just to finish off. And I'm so confident in asking you this question. And it's a traditional one on A Journey with Bernie. Because it's all about strategies and actions, routines and disciplines, ways of seeing the world that help people to become a more loving human being. It really is a way about looking inside ourselves and what do we need to do to generate sustainable inner happiness. I'll throw in the word there, greater joy in our lives on a daily basis. That's what the podcast is about. It's about hard-nosing it. It's about taking away the motherhood of love and joy and say, how do we get there? What do we need to do? You know? So I want to ask you this question here, please. Just what is love? The podcast is about love and happiness and bringing meaning. But at the end of the day, what is it? Can we give a description to the state that we call love? What is love?
Yeah, it's such a big question, isn't it? Look, I think love is a choice.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Love is a choice every day.
Yeah.
How we wake up and how we speak to ourselves, how we see ourselves, and how that flows out to others.
When you say love's a choice of what? It's almost like you're saying it's a lifestyle and you got to choose love as a way of life. As a way of living. You're giving me the nod, the up and down
as
nod.
As opposed to fear.
Yeah.
As opposed to coming from fear.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
So
there's two paradigms. It's love or fear.
Yeah.
So we choose love. And if we come from a place of love, love will flow out. So, but love has to be within us for it to flow to others. So we have to come from a place of love first.
I think that is the question. That one there. How do you create that inner happiness? I think that is even a bigger question than what is love. Right? 2 or 3 pieces of advising, please, to anyone listening to this podcast. What do you need to do on a daily basis, a regular basis, in order to enhance your capability to be happier within self?
Well, I think that is a very personal question that is unique to every human being.
Yeah.
So it's what makes you feel love. And for me, that is being mindfully grateful for where I am in my life and every part of my life, and embracing that and being grateful.
Love that.
And I practice that through a morning mantra that I say to myself. I know that when I feel healthy and fit and my body, my temple is nurtured, it affects every aspect of me as a human being. My mental health, my inner love, and then how that flows out. I think feeling connected to others is the socialization aspect of humanity is so important. Having that connection on a daily basis is another way that I love myself. To know that I need that human connection, to reach out for it. Those are the ways that I demonstrate self-love.
You realise I only asked for 3 and you gave me about 5 or 6 there. And furthermore, you actually introduced a topic which could be a whole new podcast. I mean, love of the temple. Why is it fundamental as a foundation for love of life? If you can't love the greatest gift you've ever been given, how the heck do you go and love life to the maximum? That's a whole nother story, isn't it?
Sure.
Donna-Leigh, thank you. Thank you for, and I know you've done it a number of times, but thank you for being so open and transparent, trusting even this podcast process in sharing the graphics of your story. I mean, there would be many that would still shrink in pain. I'm sure you do to some degree, but you also know how, as you said, you embrace that story, don't you? But thank you ever so much for sharing it, and of course all the wisdoms that have resulted from it. That you've shared those with us too. Can I just ask the listeners here, please, a story like this or a podcast like this deserves your comment. Don't just sit back there and go, wow. Let Donna-Leigh Perfect know of your appreciation. Maybe some of you out there have got some reason, I can't think of one, as to what you didn't enjoy about it. Guess what? Our skin's thick enough. Let us know. But there should be a heck of a lot of you out there that just want to make comment, applaud, accolade of someone who's been prepared to share her experience in such a wonderful and exceptional way so that we can all learn from it. Donna-Leigh Perfect, thank you.
Thank you, Bernie. It's been amazing.
You've been part of a journey with
Bernie.
Wasn't as grandiose as the past podcast, but we'll accept that. I think it's befitting with the tone of it. Thank you, dear listeners. Love you heaps. Till next time, Bye. Well, dear listeners, what did you think of that? Personally, I absolutely loved it. Now, what did I love about it? I just love that every story of our guest just lends itself for us identifying more actions and strategies, routines, disciplines on how you and I can become a more loving human being, one that can generate greater inner happiness within ourselves. Why? Let's bring meaning, greater meaning to our humble and beautiful lives. Now, I need you to spread the love with me. Are you in it with me? Because all you have to do is please press the follow button. What about subscriber? I need you to share these with your good friends and family. And I need your feedback because I'm looking you in the eyes and I'm saying I am dedicated to taking this podcast to be absolutely world class. Why? I just want more people to embrace this beautiful game called life. Why not? Unless you believe in reincarnation, we're only getting one chance. Let's maximize it. Let's get on with the journey of life. Embrace it, enjoy it. Oh, and just remember this.